Hey, I'm Sean Callagy of Callagy Law. Hope you're having a great day out there. A question I frequently get asked by clients is, what do we do when the adversary is lying? This is driving me absolutely crazy. And there's three keys to really think about, and these are really coaching principles. And I'm also a certified coach. Footnote, and by the way, for those of you that think I lose credibility if you work for a giant corporation, understand that the last time I was mocked for being a certified coach was by a large law firm in Arizona, and I hit them after offering them a $3 million settlement that they said no to and laughed at us for a $27 million jury verdict. So by the way, hi guys, it's Coach Callagy, which I was called frequently by the other side. So as we march forward and we think about the other side lying, which we deal with all the time, you really have to think of three things: your process mastery, your influence mastery, and your self-mastery. So let me start with self-mastery. The first thing I want to do, because your emotions during the context of a case are important, and a lot of folks don't really know how to fight. You're not trained to fight, you're not trained to be in conflict, and you go, fight, this is a lawsuit. Yeah, it's a fight. Our legal system is really a conflict between two sides in a battle for truth. And it's not a search for truth. Judges are not searching for truth. They're searching for what's the facts, what's the law to apply to it. So it's really up to your attorney to battle to advance that truth for you, while the other side, if you're the truth teller, is trying to obstruct that truth. So from a self-mastery perspective, understand, number one, that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And there's a lot of ways that you could shift your belief structures. We have some other videos on this, and your emotional states, so you can make it through the lawsuit. So if you're dealing with a long-term, highly contentious lawsuit over some things that are really important to you, the first thing you have to center yourself to is that this is going to be a war of emotional attrition, and that you have to really set yourself in each and every day to be as present as you can to not only today's problem in your lawsuit, be living your life outside of the lawsuit. And the best job you can do to compartmentalize what's happening in that lawsuit and live your life and function the best you can outside that time is incredible. And one key tip is incredibly important. And one key tip for that is, see if you can block some time where you're going to give yourself the right to think about the lawsuit, journal about it to your attorney, so it's attorney-client privilege, right? Create an attorney-client journal. And you're going to go out there and just like complain, vent, or you're going to ask questions, talk to your lawyer, and then you're going to put it down. Don't talk to other people frequently about your lawsuit, and ask the people you love and care about not to ask you about it frequently, because a lot of times you might be in a good space and they might think they're being empathetic and caring, and they're like, hey, how's everything going with the lawsuit? And if you have 9 times a day people ask you questions like that, or 2 or 15, it's going to really affect your emotional states. So those are a couple of key tips, right? Journal, an attorney-client privilege journal. Ask people to really allow you to come to them and share what's going on. And remember, attorney-client privilege, that can create an issue. So really try not to talk to about your lawsuit except in your attorney-client journal, and to your attorney and or your therapist. You would have a privilege, a therapist privilege, but not to your coach. There's not a privilege between you if you have a business coach and anything you talk about your lawsuit. But really be working on your emotional states throughout that process. So your self-mastery is critical. But one key thing that may help your self-mastery is to realize that when the other side lies, it's good for you in the hands of a good attorney. And if your attorney is telling you, well, there's nothing we can really do, it's he said, she said, respectfully, I would start interviewing other attorneys right away, because there's a lot of things that you could do in a he said, she said situation. Okay? So your self-mastery is to understand, as long as you have trust that your attorney is going to use the other side's lies effectively, know that it's only going to help you in the long run. So let's go to the influence component. So people understand when people are lying. And juries, I love going in front of a jury. I think that the jury system, contrary to what a lot of people say, is the greatest system in the world. And I think that those that hate the jury system, sometimes the insurance industry, for example, don't like the jury system or hate the jury system because they're the liars. A jury's with an effective, skilled attorney, juries are going to see who's lying and who's not. And I say that very, advisedly. In the hands of an effective, masterful attorney, they're going to see who's lying and not. And a lot of times, if the other side has a wonderful, masterful liar, yeah, you can lose, but not in the hands of a masterful attorney. And we've been involved in cases with incredibly ingenious liars on the other side, where we've crushed them. And not only have we had to overcome their lies, we've welcomed their lies and said, this is great. And for our client, in that self-mastery component, we gain their trust over time to realize that every lie they tell is going to come back and destroy them at trial, because juries are so effective at seeing lies when they're presented authentically in this influence mastery component. If you have more questions about that, or tweaking your curiosity, I'm trying to, because if you're not feeling like your lawyer is doing it, or you're about to go into an open war, please give us a call and we'll help you understand those parameters at a much, much higher level. I could talk about that topic on this 5-minute video. I could talk about influence mastery and dealing with liars for 10 hours or more. In truth, and by the way, I'm going to start creating programs for lawyers that are much more lengthy to train other lawyers to attack liars, because I want to fundamentally change the way people feel about lawyers and have the ability to destroy liars, have perjury become something that's much more present in the minds of judges instead of all the silly things that we tend to worry about in our legal system and not the real problem, which is lying at the core. So we want to have lawyers trained to confront and attack liars, and that's a much longer story for a different day, but call us to talk about if you're dealing with liars and how you can influence around that process and through it. Finally, there's a process mastery component, and that's really understanding that at every step of the journey, you want to be trapping people, and I don't mean setting them up, but I do mean trapping them and capturing them in their lies along the way. Not setting up to lie, but putting them in a position and putting them in a corner to make them take positions that expose the lies that they're telling. From conversations you have, from letters you write, to how your complaint is framed, to what you do in written discovery, in depositions, which always should be videoed. If you're dealing with a liar, always video the deposition. The written word it conveys 7% of what people say. 93% of communication is the body language, tonality, vocal qualities that people give. That's 93%. All of that is lost if you don't do videotape depositions. It is worth the money to always be doing the videotape depositions, especially when you're dealing with liars. Listen, if this is interesting to you and you're dealing with some liars on the other side, take heart that it's actually good for the most part to be dealing with liars, because at the end you're going to turn the tables on them, and that's how we achieve 2 8-figure punitive damage awards in 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, because the other side was lying and the attorneys were driving those lies forward, and they got crushed for it because juries hate liars and they're happy to punish them. I'm Sean Callagy of Callagy Law, 201-261-1700. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for other awesome legal and non-legal content, peak performance, how to do things. We talk about lots of awesome issues, including influence mastery. Give us a call today. Thanks.